Hey, this is Sherry, and I am doing a video about the truth about tobacco and smoking. Now, first of all, smoking, when you buy those cigarettes, commercial cigarettes, they put over 3,000 ingredients in them, carcinogenic ingredients from everything you can imagine, arsenic, glue, everything, right? So commercial cigarettes are not good for you, commercial tobacco. And in fact, right, so this is just a list of some of the ingredients of it. Then you have the fact that in the 1960s, it took, from 1960, to 2.2 pounds to make 1,000 cigarettes. Well, in 1999, now mind you, since 1999, they have added more additives, including the glue, in tobacco. So I'm sure it's less, but it went down to 0.91 pounds in 1999 to make the same 1,000 cigarettes. So what I'm saying is, yes, all those warnings about smoking and tobacco and it'll kill you and cause cancer. Well, it's because they put cancerous products in it, okay? And you can see now, I mean, it's mostly cancer products compared to actual tobacco. All right, so now we know that commercial cigarettes are bad for you. But let's talk about real tobacco, okay, and natural tobacco, which, by the way, if you roll your own, you can buy natural tobacco and you can smoke it, and it doesn't have the additives in it. All right, so I want to make that clear, because tobacco, believe it or not, and smoking has a lot of benefits. Now, of course, the media and the government, I believe starting in the 1970s, started just demonizing smoking. Oh, and now, if you're a smoker, you're considered a low-class citizen, and it's frowned upon, and you know, you get dirty looks and so on. And that's been done on purpose. And I'm going to go ahead and add the fact, you know, Ebola first came out in 1976, the very first case when it was discovered. Interesting that it came out then. And we also know that viruses and diseases are created in the lab. So let's say, and they say Ebola started with the monkeys, just like AIDS supposedly started with monkeys in the 1980s. So when they do test, I'm sure, on the different things, they probably also find out what combats it and what can cure it. So would it be any coincidence that it ends up, guess what? What cures is a treatment for Ebola? Tobacco. And this is from, all right, this is on Signs of the Times, but this is an article from NBC News dated in 2013 that tobacco helped the monkeys that were given to it. All right, they were here. Where is it? Right here. Antibodies. Okay. The latest test. All right, this was with the tobacco that they did. 43% of the monkeys recovered and survived when treated as long as 5 days after they were infected, even after they start showing symptoms. Okay. And usually once symptoms start, that means the virus is already overwhelming the body defenses. So tobacco cured the Ebola when they gave it. Now, I want to show you, again, from Signs of the Times, here's some health benefits. And it's all kinds of different things that it's helped, including reducing your risk for Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, and we'll get to that more in a minute. It's an anti-inflammatory, the nicotine is. Children of smokers have lower rates of allergies, asthma, food allergies. All right, now, you say, okay, that's an alternative site that gives that information. Yes, it is. So let's go to a government site briefly. This is from the government, and this is an article, and I have two. Let me go to this one. This one's much faster. Cigarette smoking and Parkinson's disease. And you can see right here, it's a .gov site, and it says between smoking and the risk of Parkinson's, suggests that smoking may actually be a protective exposure. All right, so that's a nice, simple, easy one. Now let's look at this. This is very interesting. And I want to show you this. This is, let me go up here first. This says, this is the medicinal uses of tobacco in history. Now, it goes all the way through, oh my gosh, very early days, 1800s, the 15th century, and all of this. I will be linking all of this on the blog, okay? Every one of these links will be on the blog. Let's go down to, which is amazing, that in, where is it? Oh, right down here. The 20th century and after, during the London plague of 1665, children were instructed to smoke in their schoolrooms. The outbreak of smallpox, tobacco was actually issued to all the residents of a workhouse. Tobacco has been shown to combat various diseases and plagues, obviously, okay? And I find this very interesting that this person with the government says case control studies also suggest a possible inverse association between cigarette smoking and Alzheimer's disease and Tourette's syndrome, but the same reservations apply. And that it's Parkinson's disease was lower in smokers. And here, I do like their last sentence. With any useful agent, excess dosage will do harm. I suggest we should set aside the prejudices generated by the ill effects of tobacco smoking and examine the leaves systematically for substances of therapeutic value. Now, yeah, let's set aside the prejudices of ill effects of tobacco smoking, and that is from commercial tobacco smoking. I would not smoke commercial cigarettes because they are carcinogenic. Now, forces the evidence of therapeutic effects of smoking. There's a lot of information here. Again, Parkinson's, protects against ulcerative colitis. This again is a alternative site, just like mine is an alternative. Okay, smoking prevents rare skin cancer, reduces the risk of breast cancer. All of this. Oh, by the way, woman smoking during pregnancy reduces the risk of Down syndrome. Now, many people are probably going, yeah, right now. So it keeps going on of the information. So where would we do a verification of tests that have been done on tobacco? Well, how about the Oxford Journals? This is a PDF that is about how smoking actually is beneficial, and tobacco and nicotine is beneficial. It has been used that when people have cuts, or if you have a poisonous spider bite or something, you put tobacco on it, it will get the poisons out. It protects your lungs for, you do have a protection from smoking of your lungs absorbing, let's say, the poisons that are in our air, that are sprayed all the time in our air. This has a lot of information. Again, you'll see the Parkinson's. It has benefits to ulcers, controlled body weight, of course. All right, there's the Parkinson's, there's the Alzheimer's. Okay, so here, Oxford Journals. There's a lot of women benefits actually to a woman smoking, believe it or not, for endometriosis and uterine fibroids. It helps in the way of reducing that. Down syndrome. Studies have shown that smoking mothers have a reduced risk of delivering an infant with Down syndrome. Reduced pain. Helps with the pain. It's an anti-inflammatory. There, of course, tobacco and cigarette smoke are rich sources of carcinogens, of course, because of what all they put in it. If you're, again, smoking from commercial cigarettes. Endometrial cancer, less rate of that. Colorectal cancer, less rate of that. Survival after myocardial infarction. This I'm going to link because these are all different studies. Inflammatory. Alright, so you can see hay fever, acne, believe it or not, body weight, Parkinson's again. A lot of information on Parkinson's. Mental functioning. Smokers actually have a better mental function than non-smokers. There's a lot of conclusions here, and then the references. I will be linking that. Then you go to CDC. Of course, they have different information, and interesting enough, and this is where tobacco production, 1950s, it used to be 500,000 in the 1950s of farms. Now it's only 10,000, and that was in 2007. So tobacco farms have really decreased in the U.S., obviously. North Carolina and Kentucky was the big ones. Now, in history, who did the very first anti-tobacco movement in history? Adolf Hitler. Hitler smoked, but then he stopped, and he began banning smoking in trams, buses, city trains, and he did not want his troops smoking. Now, what was the Nazis behind and Hitler behind? Well, they were behind the fluoride and the way of making sure that people were pacified and non-combatant by using fluoride. And we also know that Hitler and the Nazis had huge studies on people and what helps and what doesn't in the way of controlling people. So it makes you wonder. And then, of course, the U.S. brought a lot of the scientists over, and they also went to Argentina. So it makes you wonder, what did they know about smoking and tobacco? What did they learn back then that he started banning smoking and he didn't want people smoking? Kind of funny, huh? All right, so I will link that in the way of his anti-tobacco movement at that time. So it's been cherry tobacco. You can actually roll your own, and you can buy a pound of tobacco online, natural tobacco, and it costs normally about $16 a pound. And you get normally about 2.5 cartons out of that. A box of tubes of about a 200 count take about probably $2 for a box. So when you take $16, $18, divide that into, all right, let's take it, $20, divide it into 2, will give you about $10 a carton in the way of natural, real tobacco, which is what the cost of 2 packs of cigarettes are. So if people are going to smoke, do the natural. It's actually a lot of benefits, and it protects you. And who knows what else in the way of those that are protected from breathing in all the things they spray in the air all the time, your body actually expels it compared to soaking it into your lungs. All right. It's the real truth about tobacco and smoking.